Welcome to the South Sudan National Participation Institute. In our today's presentation, we are going to talk about the people of South Sudan and their contributions to the independence of the newest nations on earth, especially in the light of the 7th anniversary of the independence of South Sudan, which is coming on July 9th, 2017. And in our presentation, we're going to give some resource information from researchers and journalists who have gone to Sudan to document the conflict that is ongoing in that country. In addition to that, we will also include some music by artists from South Sudanese musicians who have great interest and in their promotion for peace, unity, and development in this newest nation on earth. So we hope you will be able to enjoy the presentation, and we hope that the presentation will also be beneficial to you, as all of us are now trying our best to promote peace, unity, and development in this country. So our presentation is going to start with the music by Silver X entitled Let's Stand Together, and of course with him are all the South Sudanese musicians. So we hope you will be able to enjoy this presentation, and we also hope that you will be able to take part in the promotion of peace, unity, and development in South Sudan. So here we go.
South Sudan, we need the freedom that we hope we've been looking for. Let's stand together, let's work together. I'm not supposed to cry, but I can't hide with tears. Trying to hold my head up high, though it's so hard to bear. Side a brother on a brother, taking life of one another. When I'm supposed to worship back and in mind, my brother keeper, the love we share and hate. Should be deeper, tears be best manners. We need to stand together, cause that's the only way we can win. Kalas, you know, been kalas, mashakil badan. See, we are the children of this land. We need some peace, we need some love. Why wouldn't we then live in harmony and end despair?
The world's newest country. They found a conflict marked by mass slaughter.
So up until July 9th, 2011, South Sudan has been an integral part of Sudan. And on July 9th, 2011, as was mentioned, South Sudan becomes the newest nation in the world, country number 154 in the UN roster of nations. So, and before that, South Sudan and Sudan has been one country for so many years. And because of the politics of marginalization and mismanagement, the people of South Sudan, beginning from 1955, they started a struggle for the independence of their country in South Sudan. So the struggle continued for so long, and in the struggle, so many people perished, many became refugees, and some became internally displaced people. So the struggle started in 1955, as was mentioned earlier, and then it stopped briefly in 1972 when a peace agreement was signed in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa to bring a relative peace for a period of 10 years from 1972 to 1982. And during that time there was relative peace, as was mentioned, but then the then president of Sudan, Colonel Jafar Nimeri, abrogated the Addis Ababa agreement. So the war resumed again in South Sudan in 1983, and it continued up to 2005. So there were a lot of information that was presented about the war in Sudan, but our focus today is about the people of South Sudan. South Sudan has more than 64 tribes, and all of them actually from the beginning of the struggle for independence, all of them have participated in the struggle for the independence of South Sudan. So there are people from the northern South Sudan, the western South Sudan, the southern part of South Sudan, and the eastern part of Sudan, of South Sudan for that matter. Politicians, civil servants, religious leaders, and even ordinary civilians have participated in the struggle for the independence of South Sudan. So in January 2011, based on the comprehensive peace agreement that was signed in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, a peace agreement was signed between the government of South Sudan, the National Congress Party, led by President Omar al-Bashir, and the Sudan's People Liberation Movement, led by the late SPLA leader, the Sudan's People Liberation Movement, Sudan People's Liberation Army leader, Dr. John Garang Mabio. And in 2005, in the CPA agreement, South Sudan was given the right for self-determination. And of course, in 2011, the people of South Sudan decided overwhelmingly to secede from the Sudan. And as was mentioned earlier, the South Sudan became the newest nation in the world. But after 2 years only from the independence of South Sudan, the country was once again plunged into a civil war between the people of the same country, and that led to a lot of death, and people were displaced within the country, and millions others become refugees in the neighboring countries. So there is a lot of struggle now for power and for peace at the same time between the people of the same country. So this presentation is just to indicate briefly that all the people of South Sudan are in need of peace, unity, and stability, and it's incumbent upon all the people of South Sudan to embark in this process. And we also appeal to the people in the region and to all the friends of South Sudan that help in the independence of South Sudan to help in bringing peace and stability, so that the people can live in peace, so that the children in that country can go to school and be like any other children in the world. So South Sudan, of course, for those who may not know, is located in the Eastern African continent, and it has a population of around 12 million people, and most of the people as we speak now are refugees in the neighboring countries, and some who live in the country are internally displaced, and there are calls for food because there is a looming famine as the conflict is still going on in South Sudan. So we hope you will be able to help in one way or another, and then we hope the information that is briefly provided will be able to help you in your, as we all aspire for peace and unity and prosperity in South Sudan. So we hope you will be able to take part in this quest for peace and stability in South Sudan, and to help with all that you can in terms of promoting the information to those who may not have heard about the conflict in South Sudan. So we're going to stop here, and then we'll put the music. In our next presentation, we're going to talk about the dialogue in South Sudan, hoping that together through the dialogue process we can be able to bring lasting peace in South Sudan. So before we conclude, we want to give our thanks and appreciation to the musicians and to all the people who did research and who are promoting peace, unity, and development in South Sudan. So thank you very much, and we hope to see you again in our next presentation. So thank you and have a good one.